guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Dan.
I'm Spencer.
And this is the Board Game Rundown. Today, we are going to talk about games we played, news, crowdfunding, and a special topic that we have selected. But first, please like, subscribe, share the videos, because when we get to 500 subscribers, we have a video specially for a giveaway. We're going to give away a copy of AEG's Kickstarter exclusive, which means you could only get it if you back the Kickstarter, unless you win our contest. Yeah, no doubt. Anyways, we're going to give away a copy of Edge of Darkness when we get to 500 subscribers. The only thing you need to do to enter is to be a subscriber and comment on the video.
Maybe what your favorite AEG game is.
Sure.
It's a fun one to do,
lot of
even
people
though
have been doing
everyone
that.
says space-based so
Sure.
far, it seems. But, you know.
It's a very popular game.
I would be in the minority out of that, I guess.
Right.
But, hey, great stuff. So, check it out, because we're like 100 away-ish.
Ish.
All right, so games we played first.
Yeah.
My list is tiny.
Same.
Hey, mine too.
All right.
I played Red Rising.
Red Rising.
I played that.
Rising.
I
Oh my
played Red
God.
Rising
We all
too.
played
That's
it.
so weird.
Cool.
Yeah, that's really weird. If only we had like a review or an unboxing going up in like that corner.
Oh.
There
That'd be
is.
interesting. Of
Yeah,
course, by the time
yeah,
you see
I will
this,
hit
it
you in the
probably
head.
won't be
Yeah,
there
it's
yet. But it'll be
probably
there
not.
eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah. So Red Rising, the newest outing from Stonemaier Games, based on the very popular IP. Are they YA novels, young adult?
Yeah, I think they're considered young adult
Okay.
novels, yeah.
But I've never read them.
Yep.
The not knowing the IP affected gameplay this
Zilch.
much.
Yep.
Gameplay was solid.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can watch the review and like find out what we details on
Yep.
what we think. But
Yeah. Just to go into it a little bit.
yeah,
Yep.
go for it.
I was really kind of hoping for like a more Game of Thrones type of game,
Oh,
where it was
sure.
almost like area control, because like you are kind of like building your hand, right, with like your alliances in your hand and,
Sure.
and whatnot. But like I thought it'd been neat to do like a Game of Thrones-esque, where it's, but not territory control, but like, oh, I'm controlling the Institute because I've got like
Oh,
some
right,
people from there, and I'm controlling like
because
Jupiter,
because of the books, right? You're these great houses or whatever. and you're trying
yeah.
to-
So instead of having basically like one landmass where you're vying for control, you have all these different aspects of the society,
right, the
that you're
guilds
trying
and the
to
castes
take over.
and
Yeah,
things like that. Yeah,
and
that
I
makes
thought,
sense.
yeah, I thought that would have been really cool, but it's still a fun game.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Because like Dune really plays a lot more like that. Where you're
Yeah.
Like
really,
yeah, like the movie would have
Right.
you
Every
think
time
it
I
would.
really want
Right.
to play
Yeah,
this
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
But so Red Rising, I mean, it was solid.
Yep.
It was
Yeah, it was
solid. We've got some picks, some nits to pick here and there.
Yep. Check out
Uh,
our review for that stuff.
Check out the review.
Yep.
What else did we play, guys?
Oh.
What? Was it slang?
No.
No.
I don't know.
Gang?
No, it's not
No.
that. It involved dice.
Tang.
Tang.
Was
Anyway, we
It's the
played
stuff
Bang
that-
the Dice.
Oh, bang.
Man, that
Bang
T
the-
looked like a B.
Bang the Dice game, which I already
Well,
liked,
W.
and then we
Yeah.
did play it with the Old Saloon expansion, which I mean really made a really good game a great game for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
It was
Really
it was
enhanced
good.
it. I mean, who doesn't like asymmetrical player powers?
Yeah.
I
And
know.
like really powerful ones.
Yeah.
Too. Like,
Really
when someone
really
flips over their
good
card,
ones.
everyone's like, "What's happening?"
Whoa! What was that?
And if you just pump it out in between the games, it's a nice filler and
Yep.
great
yeah,
time.
we
It's a
learned.
great warm-up game when everyone's like
yeah.
just shows up and is like, "Okay, we don't want to do too much thinking. Let's just blindly fire at each
Yeah.
other."
waiting
Right.
for that one guy, me, who's
Yeah.
late.
or Bob.
Yeah, I'm probably picking up Chipotle somewhere.
Yeah, probably. And of course,
But
it's packed.
we
It's
have
packed.
a video covering what we think of the Old Saloon up there eventually, and yeah, it was really good.
It's really fun.
We'll go
Had a
more in
great time.
depth in
Check
that
it
video.
out.
More in depth in that video.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Spencer? Have you played My Little Scythe yet?
I played My Little Scythe.
Hey!
Yeah, and I'm going to play it again this week. So
How'd it
that's
go?
why I didn't bring it in. Actually, it went
That's
really
fine.
well.
Good.
Cool.
Yeah, I taught my daughter how to do it, and she really got a hang of it.
Addie's really smart anyway, so
She is
she
really
probably
smart.
picked it up quick.
Yeah, she picked up pretty quick. Now that she has a hang of it, I want to play it with her again.
Where you can play a little meaner.
Well, so I realized something, and I wanted to bring this up.
Okay.
And I'll probably bring this up again when we do the review at some point.
Sure.
But My Little Scythe has kind of a built-in handicap that I can give myself. Because in order for the game to end, so many of those things have to be completed. So
Yeah.
many
Right.
of the...
Stars or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, the stars. I can just assume that as an adult,
you need more.
I need more of them.
Ah.
And so I gave myself 5 I had
Instead
to
of
Are you
4.
saying that that's in the rule book
No,
as a
no,
handicap?
it's not.
Okay.
It's
But
like a
it's
little
a-
house rule to kind
But
of.
it's a great house rule. You can just add that on, and that way I don't totally crush my children all the time.
Right.
Sure.
Oh,
And Yeah,
fun, too.
she had a good
Bob has no problem
Yeah, it's
destroying
fine.
new players.
It builds
at a game.
character.
Yeah. Give me an 8-year-old
No, no,
who's
no.
never played the game before. I'll
right.
demolish
Don't get me
them.
wrong.
Yeah.
In your
I
face.
did win, but
No, but
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
so
it was
so
a
she
great
liked it. It went
game.
over well. And
yes.
Yeah. And it's fun, right? I
It
mean,
is.
it's a solid
Yeah.
game.
And
It's
I'm like,
fun.
I agree. It would be a great way for you to introduce normal Scythe because
Sure.
you've got half the rules already
like,
done.
like, I don't know if your mom's played Scythe or not, but if you wanted to get her to
No.
play Scythe, you could play My Little Scythe, and then like the next week, drop Scythe down on the table, and you will take 5
not
minutes to
starting at
explain the
step one.
The
additional
differences,
things,
yeah.
and she's gonna know how to play the
Yeah.
game the
Yeah,
rest of the
I think it's a
way
great.
and-
I
and
also
not
honestly want to
struggle at all.
play My Little Scythe just because it's like I kind of want to like. Sometimes I want to like play Scythe. I think it's a great game, but like,
Not
man,
take
could I?
2
Yeah, could I
hours.
play this in 40 minutes?
Yeah.
You know, and like
Yes,
that
you
kind of
can.
thing, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
play My Little
So,
Scythe.
Absolutely.
I honestly think I might want to play My Little Scythe sometimes just
Yeah.
because of that reason.
When he
yeah.
brings it back, we'll pass it to you. You
Yeah.
play
Played
it.
it in an hour with her learning.
Yeah, that's
That's pretty
great.
good.
That's great, and it held her attention.
Yeah, it held her attention.
Yeah, so I mean that's
We didn't
So-
get into as many pie fights as I was expecting.
with
she
two
kept
players-
wanting to get into pie fights.
Oh,
Like,
sure.
I'm gonna hit you, I'm not
But
gonna
she
do it.
then realized that her movement was limited, and she didn't have the ability to jump through things as like I got.
Right.
So she didn't know she has to upgrade her stuff
Oh,
so she
right.
can move faster.
I mean, I've
Sure.
always said life is about the threat of pie fights, though,
Yes.
not
Right.
necessarily the pie
right.
fights themselves.
Yeah.
and then
Because
at
once
the
you actually
end,
get in a pie fight,
well,
you
at the
lower our
end, she
pies.
was like she really wanted to get in a pie fight, but she realized that if she got in a pie fight and she was giving up all of her pies, she was probably going to lose, and that would lose her the game immediately.
sure.
So she then was like, "No, I have to avoid pie fights."
Yeah, My Little Scythe is actually a great way to teach the Cold War. I've just realized this.
Right.
Like America and the USSR just kept making pies. And like they first one to throw a pie, the other person was going to throw all their pies.
The bigger
Nobody
pie.
wanted to throw their pies to
until
start
we
with.
until
So
we
they just
dropped
kept
the
making more
mother of
pies.
all pies.
Kept making more pies.
Yeah,
and
I'm
saying,
sorry.
hey, I have more pies now.
That's
But
right.
then they say, oh, yeah, well, we have more pies now.
And then the Cold War ended, and now we have an obesity problem.
Oh,
We gotta eat all the pies before they go bad.
True.
I don't even like pie anymore.
Yeah.
The rest of my time was basically spent learning how to play Steampunk Rally Fusion, but I
Okay.
never actually got to
Cool.
play it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I spent
Hopefully
all
next-
week learning how to play Black Rose Wars. So
well,
and I
yeah.
haven't actually got to play it yet.
For you, it's probably because it's complicated. For me, it was because I kept getting interrupted.
Oh no! For me, it's because there's no solo mode.
So there's no
Oh,
solo
sure.
mode.
I
Yeah.
spent a week.
Well, it's a-
There
retraining
is
That's
a
a
solo
combat
mode
game.
for this one.
But you know what? I've been playing Magic the Gathering online.
Oh, yeah?
Because they
Yes.
just launched that Magic the Gathering
On your phone.
on app. You can play it on your phone or your iPad.
Yes,
And
I've been doing it too.
it's great.
Why don't
Chris
you
has
guys
been
play
bothering me
together?
to get you over to be our fourth once in a while.
Maybe.
so
It'll be
maybe-
great. I'll bring my elf deck. That is.
Well, you have to be able to commander deck now, though. That's the
I don't
big
even
thing.
know
Yeah.
what that is.
Remember,
I
did you
mean,
play Highlander back in the day?
there could be only one.
Yes,
Okay.
that's basically what it is. But you have one card that's your commander, right? And
This
it
is a
stays outside of your deck. in
Magic
your
the
command
Gathering
zone.
rundown.
And then every card in your deck has to be the same color as your commander. So if you have like a
Okay.
red and blue commander, all the cards in your deck have to be red and
Red and
blue.
blue. Gotcha.
Oh.
So if
It's
you've got
okay.
one of those old school elder dragons
Uh-huh.
that are all 5 colors.
Well, that's what it's called. It's actually
yeah.
called EDH. So it's Elder Dragon Highlander. Because Highlander used to be a game we used to play it back in the day, regular
Yeah.
Magic. But then the EDH is what it's called now.
Sure.
And it's based on the Elder Dragons. and stuff.
Gotcha.
This has been the Magic Rundown.
So I need somebody else.
Skull.
and somebody else's command deck. Yeah, I gotta loan
But
me
yeah.
one.
Okay, well, since I won't have much to talk about on the show, I'll just say really quick, I played Dead by Daylight for a bit. That was
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
you know,
We had fun.
That was fun.
We had a
yeah,
good
that was
time.
fun. We played Dead
We
by
had a good
Daylight.
time.
Great video
Stayed up
game.
late playing.
And I've been playing the crap out of a new game called Hell Let Loose. It's not a new game. It's new to me. Called Hell Let Loose. Tactical,
PC.
realistic World War II shooter. I've been having a great time with that. There's not many experiences in life, I think, because board games can't give you this, right? There's not
Yeah.
many experiences in life where you're playing with people who clearly know what they're actually talking about military-wise, and you're like following orders, like, and people are using these crazy terms that you're just like, man, this
need to
guy
play-
knows
We
what
need
he's
to sit right.
doing.
We need to
Yeah.
play U-Boot.
Yeah,
We
I
need to
know.
play
I've
U-Boot.
Yeah,
I've been
U-Boot.
dying to play
Yeah.
U-Boot again ever since
Yeah.
our first one.
That'd
But
be nice.
yep, that's all I've done this week.
That's all right. That's all right. That's still a good week.
I
Yeah.
did that
So
with paintball. I was playing paintball, and there were a bunch of people who were actually military and doing it.
Uh-huh. That is a great
And-
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Except when they destroy everyone.
or when
Yeah.
they get destroyed. That's even better.
That's a
feeling.
good
Yeah.
one.
Sure.
That's a fun one.
sure.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going into news
Yeah.
now.
So
News time.
Speaking of
I got
U-Boot
one
and
news.
Phalanx Games,
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
transition there.
Segue.
Total Domination.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Sad news. Shipping's been pushed back
Okay.
to December.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
However,
not the saddest news.
not the
that you could
saddest
ever hear.
news, but it is a little silver lining. You can now, though, play On Tabletopia and Tabletop Simulator.
Oh, right on.
But it's just called Domination. They don't have the total add-on
Right,
on
okay.
there yet. So you can get on one of those 2 platforms and check out their game.
Do you think you're
see if
going
it's
to,
something-
or are you just gonna wait?
I might get on there and check it out. I'm not on those a lot.
Yeah.
But sometimes I've been working a lot, but Sarah's dad's back now, so I don't have to work the crazy 12-hour days.
Sure.
Okay.
So the possibility
I'm
is open.
better at getting on Tabletop Simulator when I'm meeting somebody on there than
Yeah.
just getting on there by myself
Randomly.
and messing around.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, I just don't
yeah.
play games alone in general. So like I
Sure.
launch up games on Tabletop Simulator all the time, and I look at the bits
Yep,
and I'm like,
there it
and I'm
is.
bored, and I shut it down. So
Sure.
I don't play alone.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Well, that's
Okay.
good news.
Yep. Good
I
news
mean,
or
good
failing. So really quick, while you're still talking about
Sad
news,
news.
any
Yeah.
more news on your Merchant's Cove?
No. So what's funny is I got the email notification like Monday saying Merchant's Cove is going to be shipping soon, and then I got a random UPS shipping notification. I was like, sweet, thought it was Merchant's Cove. Nah, it's Ruination, but I should be getting it soon.
Oh
Also.
man,
Sure.
I can't wait to see
I know
Ruination.
Ruination's gonna be cool. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Ruination's gonna be cool.
And then like 2 days later, Fun Again or Colossal emailed me and says your game has shipped through Fun Again. I was like, oh, I thought it was gonna be Merchant's Cove. Not that I'm disappointed to see Ruination, but we were hoping for Merchant's Cove.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So
I got a little bit of news.
yeah, go for it, Spencer.
It is-
I'll do mine last.
It's just a little one. Are you familiar with Delicious Games?
Nope.
They make Underwater Cities
Okay.
okay,
yeah.
and Praga Kaput Ragni, which is another really big popular
I've
one.
played both
Both
of
of
those.
them.
All of those.
Dan,
yeah.
Look at me.
Yes, I know those. Continue.
So they have one more game right now. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's like Dragon Battles or something. But they're finally announced their fourth game, which they've been teasing since like 2017, which is crazy because they've only been around since
Oh.
2018.
What a
Okay.
tease.
It's going to be released this year, but they
Okay.
haven't really said when. But it's this year. It's called Messina 1347. Quick history
good year.
lesson. Messina in Italy in 1347 was going through the Black Plague.
Bad
Oh.
year. Bad year.
So it's I kind of find this hilarious. It's a tile placing game where you are an Italian family attempting to both escape the Black Plague by making your country house better while simultaneously trying to help the people of the city to survive the Black Plague. I'm like, that's so weird.
but you're okay with all the other players' families dying from the Black Plague.
yes.
I never really liked the Johnsons, if I'm being honest.
yeah.
It's the Hoopers you got to watch out for.
Yeah.
So this year, look for Messina 1347.
Okay.
All
And I
right.
mean, yeah, I'll say both their other games are pretty, really well made and fun. They're a bit heavy.
Yep.
And they tend to come out with some issues. Like when Underwater Cities came out, there was this whatever the green resource is in that game, there was this whole meta around that board game where you could break the game by taking advantage of how this mechanic worked with the green resource, and no one stood a chance.
Right.
They have released like erratas and stuff like that to try to fix that. But yeah, so stuff like that. But overall, I like Underwater Cities a lot. I like it more than Terraforming Mars. I find it similar to Terraforming Mars, but better to me. And Praga was a really awesome game, but like, man, is there a lot going on? I need to play that
lot
again.
going
on.
Yeah, I need to play that again before I start talking about that
Yeah,
game.
that
so.
seemed really intense.
Yep.
That
Was.
seemed really intense. Well, while we're talking about one plague-based game to
Okay.
another,
Sure.
I'll move on to
From one plague-based game to another. You can trust me.
there's an awesome, super hard, depressing co-op called The Grizzled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So in The Grizzled, you are basically soldiers in World War I, and you're in a trench, and you're basically just trying to survive.
Trying to survive. Yeah.
I forget however
Everything.
many rounds or
Yeah.
whatever. But you're going to get different cards that you have to play that do negative things if so many symbols come up and things like that. And then you can get like negative cards, like maybe you can't talk anymore,
Yeah.
or things like that.
Right.
Like different
Hindrances.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, I wanna
So
play
Super
this.
depressing. This reminds me
wanna
of
play
another
it.
one called This War of Mine, which is
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
totally
that's,
super depressing.
Yeah, it is.
So they're having a spin-off of The Grizzled called We Care, and you are healthcare workers
oh no.
working the
God.
front lines of a medical crisis.
Okay.
So you are trying
not
to
based in reality at all.
you're trying to
Yeah.
save as many patients as you can while not overworking yourself,
Right.
and everything. Because again, like getting rest in the grizzled
Right.
is like a huge thing.
Yeah.
So this is themed on that. It's coming out later this year.
I don't know if
This-
we get caught up. And I was like, oh no, a bus full of injured
So this is
people.
made by the same people.
Yes.
That's why you're saying this?
Okay.
I'm so interested because I've been wanting a good like medical
You've
game
been
for a
talking
long
about that.
time.
Yeah.
And everyone loves the Grizzled.
Yeah.
And
So,
the
that
Grizzled
Co-op,
is
yeah.
great.
Yeah, that
is
I've
good.
only beat it
Me neither.
once. We've only won it once. You might have been
I
there,
think I did.
but it was like me, you, and Pete, maybe.
So
and it was-
they
I
cheated.
think we had Patrick too, didn't we?
We might have
No,
had
they didn't
Patrick.
cheat.
Yeah.
You just read the rules wrong.
Yeah. It was-
What's the
Listen here,
difference?
guys. Here's the most important
We
thing.
didn't say anything.
Here's the most important thing about We Care. Every copy of the game
Uh,
sold, they will make a donation to Doctors Without Borders.
Oh, that is
Nice.
amazing.
So-
and they are a really
That's fantastic.
good.
Sorry, did you say
front.
is this a Kickstarter or a
no,
straight
no.
release?
This is a straight
Coming soon.
release
Okay.
coming
straight
soon.
release, okay.
This game's happening.
Okay.
So yes, you will actually be doing some good if you buy this game.
Yeah.
And
I'm very
like a
interested.
And if it's like the Grizzled, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's like the Grizzled, it's going to be a small box,
Yep.
and a
Yep.
deck of cards. So it's going to be cheap.
Wondering if it's going to be that same scratchy art style.
It might.
too.
It might have
Maybe.
that. Well, I don't know.
No, for
that French. That was like a
right,
French
exactly.
cartoonist.
It fit, yeah, it fit
that
the theme.
fit the
That's
theme.
why I'm wondering.
So I think that I
I was
would
thinking it'd be
imagine
super
it'd
like
be different.
illegible, like a doctor handwriting. You won't be able to read any of it.
That should be one of the hindrances.
rule,
That's right.
the rule book is just the quick lines.
Yeah.
And just like, I don't
It
know.
clearly says really.
That's funny.
Yeah. On a much lighter note, coming to Kickstarter in June, there is the people who made the game Junk Art, which I've never played, but I'm
What?
aware of.
You haven't played that?
No, everybody, that like is a game.
That's the same reaction.
Like I'm playing something else, and I look over, and everybody's playing Junk Art and having this great time. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
and then everybody just assumes that I have also
That's
played
me
it.
and Dune.
And it's
I
like,
haven't played it.
How often do you look over and see a bunch of people playing Dune? What are
Yeah,
you talking about?
never.
Every time I came over here.
never. But there's an app that I would play with my kids. Because it would soothe them and just kind of distract them, called My Singing Monsters.
Okay.
And so you're like, you're breeding this old monster, and this monster might just do. And then you breed another monster, and it's like a horn, and he's like, doo, doo.
And everyone at the table has to make that sound.
No, so in the
You're
app,
making a
the-
simple
making
it's
them all
an
together.
app.
That does
So
it.
every
You're right.
time
You
in
said
the
an
app,
So
you
basically,
get,
it's a sampler.
you get these cute little monsters, and then as you get more and more, all the sounds layer,
Layer.
and some of them
Yeah, yeah.
sing, and then they like eventually you open up the app, you go to your island, and there's all like this whole chorus of
Singing songs.
instruments and songs and everything, and and the tunes are all really catchy.
That reminds me of Cocorecho, which is a really
A
old.
cockroach?
No, not quite.
Cockroach.
It's a really
Like
old
Cocorecho.
PlayStation game where you go around rescuing things, and they all sing one different part of a
Oh,
song.
sure.
Super catchy song.
Sure.
And the more you rescue, the more parts of the song you get.
So this is kind of how
Kinda like that.
the app works, right? So they're making a board game of this.
Okay.
I play the
so it's
app
going to be like that
a bunch.
DJ game you have.
No, it's not going to be like Drop Mix at all. This is a worker
Drop
placement
Mix is a good game.
that ramps up in complexity. So it's made so you can play it with young kids to start, but then actually can get more complex and you can play it at a higher difficulty for older players. There's like over 50 monsters that you
wow.
can collect and breed. So like that's the other thing in the game, right? Is you take one of these, take like the drum guy and the horn guy, and you mix them, and then you get like a different guy. So then
Right,
they
you
make
take the horn guy and the French guy.
and then you have French
French
horn.
horns.
So that was Dan.
Yeah.
His last episode, which
Yep.
was cool. It was nice having him.
A little
Matt.
bit more news.
Yeah, no, and that's it. So My
okay.
Singing Monsters is
So
coming.
there's probably not going to
June.
be music in the board game.
Right.
It's probably going to
no,
be
it's-
some kind
it's-
of laying cards down that have notes on it.
I think so.
depending
Unless
on
there's some
so.
kind of an app supported.
That could be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could be.
good point.
Could be.
So we had mentioned this before, but now they've got a firm date. A friend of ours by the name of Glenn Drover.
Yeah.
Love that
I
guy.
wish.
And Forbid.
I wish it was a friend of ours.
It popped up on people you might know on my Facebook, and I'm like, I'll add friends.
Yeah.
He says okay, but he didn't.
No doubt. No doubt.
And Forbidden Games, Mosaic, A Story of Civilization,
Yeah.
coming to Kickstarter May 11th. Stay tuned for more details because I will have all those juicy details. With
I
you.
love me a Glenn
Looks
Drover
so-
game.
Glenn
for
Drover,
sure.
yeah, that's two of my favorite things together there. So,
Speaking of a real friend of ours, though,
okay.
Barnyard Grab
Oh, yeah.
should be coming soon.
Yeah,
like,
so
they should have
we'll have
information
some
soon.
videos. We've got a copy of the game. I have it at my house. We will play it. Actually, what I would like to do is live stream a play
Yeah.
Okay.
because that game is frantic and
Yeah.
takes like 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, Ted Schrader and Robert Kerr.
Mm-hmm.
Kerr made Conclusio,
Conclusio.
a show
Yep.
favorite.
A
yeah,
show
that's
favorite.
great.
yeah.
And I'm a little biased because we hosted our proto spiel, Barnyard Grab was being played,
Okay.
and they didn't have a name for it yet.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Mallory suggested the name, my daughter. And
Oh, nice.
they liked it.
Oh,
They were
cool.
like, oh yeah, that's great. And then they kind of went
So
with
now
it.
she's getting royalties.
We got a copy of the game.
Oh, there you go. Hey,
That counts.
That counts.
but it's a fun, like, Fast and Furious game. We'll have a lot more coming up. I'm gonna say in the fall it will actually be hitting Kickstarter.
Okay.
But we are gonna be plugging the heck out of that thing because it is a really fun
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's cool to
family level
see.
game, and it's local guys.
Yeah,
right?
it's cool to see local.
Gotta help out the
people
local guys.
Absolutely.
getting a well liked game out there.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. And it was a hit at Protospiel.
Yeah, that's what
It
I'm
was,
saying.
It was
Yeah,
a hit
yeah.
at Protospiel. Everybody's having fun. Spencer will have to cut his fingernails before we play it, though. He
For
plays guitar.
shizzle.
He plays
Yeah.
acoustic guitar.
Acoustic guitar.
He's got long fingernails.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
That's
'Cause they
my,
don't sell
That's my
picks.
news.
Any other news? Any news?
I don't want to
News?
have a
News?
pick for every
Boys?
finger.
I do have a crowdfunding.
I play
Crowdfunding.
classical guitar.
Crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding.
Yes, crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding.
Yeah, so crowdfunding.
What you got?
Go now to GameFound and search After the Empire. And
Oh, it's
get
up.
Yourself, it is
It's
up
up.
now.
It
You
is
can get
live.
It's up for
It's
my
awesome.
depression.
Yep. It's great. Deluxe
Again,
version.
they are doing what I absolutely love.
Yeah.
I know last week we went
With
on
the
like
tiers you're talking
we
about.
destroyed like crowdfunding because of things
of
that
issues.
they do.
Sure.
But this is the right way.
Yep.
It's like,
Yes.
hey, upgrade your
If you
your
have a
retail
basic
copy.
version, you upgrade the retail, or you can buy a
Right,
deluxe
exactly
version.
what Robinson Crusoe did.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Yep.
And
So yeah.
I don't know. I hate to be biased because I do like Awaken Realms, but
Uh-huh.
I really have had no nitpicks with any of the stuff that they have done on their crowdfunding site
Right.
yet. I feel, with the exception that it doesn't have an app. That's my only negative.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
If it had
it's
an
a little more
app,
difficult to
Which
navigate.
I'm sure is in the
working on
works.
It's got to
I
be.
hope so.
It's got to be. But they are knocking it out of the park.
Yep.
And After the Empire,
Yep.
I haven't played it yet.
It's
I'm
so
dying
good.
to play it.
So good. It's a worker placement, tower defense type game. Amazing components, even without the deluxe. Like the little wooden cubes are fine.
Yeah.
But like you get the deluxe version, you have like little guys, and you're placing out your workers to try to recruit more people to defend your castle. And then you're flipping cards over, and there's dudes invading your castle to try to sack it. And it's got a great mechanic where it prevents runaway leader. It's really well done.
Yep.
Really well done.
Yeah, we talk about it pretty in depth here.
Ooh.
Great experience with it so far. If it sounds interesting or looks interesting to you, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's a really
Yeah.
really good game.
I
You
got
guys have
one.
any? Go ahead.
I got two, so I'll start with one of them. Have you guys ever heard of the world Cyberpunk Red?
Yeah, no,
I mean, I
So
Cyberpunk.
it's a role playing world that you get to play in. They have made a board game called Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone. It's by Monster Fight Club. This is like one of those campaign mini games. You play through, and you play through the campaign. You've got lots of little minis. Each mini has its own abilities, kind of like in Zombicide. But it's set in a cyberpunk world. There's 6 different factions, and each faction has so many minis. So that's a lot of different powers that you're going to have. What I liked about this one, there were two cool things. First, the map itself has these 3D quick setup stands for like walls and dumpsters. So that looks pretty
So a little
cool.
bit of 3D terrain.
Yeah,
going on.
a little 3D terrain. They also have this really neat reaction system. So you have 3 different colored dice, green, yellow, and red. And as your character takes damage, they have to downgrade from green towards red. And so each die has fewer stuff on them.
Okay.
You can also react with counter-attacking and dodging and stuff. They have these neat little clear plastic measuring things. So instead of having just squares, you're actually like moving around
Like a miniature
like a
game.
miniatures game. It's like halfway between a miniatures game and a tabletop game.
Wild.
Yeah. So I thought that sounded pretty cool.
I like cyberpunk stuff anyway.
Well, just
I
to
do
be
too.
clear, if you know or if Jeff back there knows, so you're saying Cyberpunk Red is not the same universe as Cyberpunk by CD Projekt Red.
I cannot answer that. I don't know.
Okay. Jeff says he doesn't believe so. I just thought that was quite the coincidence.
Yeah, it is a pretty coincidental
Yeah.
coincidence.
Okay.
Anyway, so it's 120 for the base game, but the base game only comes with, I believe, 2 of the factions. If you want 2 more factions, it's 200. If you want all the factions, it's 270. And they got a bunch of these add-on packs, which add on all sorts of different things, up to 350, including all these daily figures. Every day they're coming out with a new figure with new abilities. So you get to actually take your little team of 5 and customize them with all the different things that are coming in. So it looks like it's got replayability. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
So check that out. It's May 13th is the deadline.
So I'm wondering if Cyberpunk Red is because of the era in the Cyberpunk world that it takes place in, because the
Soviet?
the logo the logo and like the font that they use for Cyberpunk looks like regular Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it does.
Um,
The idea is there's a futuristic world where inside the city everything is a utopia, but outside the walls of the city everything is a dystopia. And so we are living outside the walls of the city, having to deal with different
dystopia.
gangs
Yeah.
and people
Sounds
who are trying to
fun.
survive.
Cool.
and crap
That's
like
where I would go if I could go to a game universe.
Yeah.
I'd go to the dystopia.
go to the one that'll get you killed, you
that. Jeff has
maniac.
got
Oh,
some news.
Jeff's got information.
R. Talsorian Games makes Cyberpunk Red. Is a paper RPG. When I said RPG, that's what I meant. A paper RPG.
Like a table.
It's
tabletop.
Yeah, it's all still in the Cyberpunk lore.
Yes.
Right, just different versions. I am super excited, guys, that I saw the upload I've been waiting years for. Angry Joe's Street Fighter the Miniatures game is delivering. It is delivering. It should be fully delivered by the end of next month.
Did you
I
back
believe.
this?
I did not,
Okay.
but I've been waiting for this because this is their first board game they've ever made. They had a hell of a time completing the Kickstarter, getting all the shipping right and getting everything. Plus, with the Street Fighters IP, they had a really tough time. They had to send stuff back to the factory and redesign it constantly because they would like redesign things and then like Capcom would be like, the hair's not blue enough, whatever. Okay, redesign everything in the 3D render, send it back to the factory. They had to do that a bunch of times because everything has to be extremely specific to their design, right?
Didn't they launch this on Indiegogo and Kickstarter simultaneously?
I honestly don't know about the Indiegogo.
like that?
On the YouTube, he only ever talked about the Kickstarter.
Okay,
I know
sure.
that. But so that is finally delivering. The reason I'm excited about that is not only is it getting okay reviews, the only thing people are saying about it is it's way lighter than they were expecting. It's a really like light skirmish game, 1v1, where you're playing cards from your hand.
Almost like
and then
Unmatched, maybe?
You're basically, the thing is the game's really expensive. You're basically buying the miniatures. They
Sure.
are like the highest quality miniatures you can get. And they put a lot of time and effort into that. That's what they cared about. And so the game is a simple card game where you're moving around on a hex board or a square board, and you're playing cards. So if I play a card face down that's either a strike or a range or something, and then you can either say, okay, I'll just try to block this, and we roll dice off each other. You roll the base defense dice, and I roll my attack dice, or you can try to counter it by playing a card face down. And if we flip and it's this like they're both strikes, you successfully countered my strike. It's like a rock paper scissors mechanic, but a little bit more in depth.
Yeah.
There's also a combo mechanic to where on the left and right side of cards there'll be a color like red or yellow. So if on the right side of a card is a yellow mark, you can play a second card with the yellow on the left side of the card and build like a string of combos.
Okay.
Right? But the reason I'm so excited, like I keep saying, is because this means I know, the Mortal Kombat one is now going to come to Kickstarter this year.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
He had the rights for the Mortal Kombat one, but he could not release it until the Street Fighter one was done because of rights and stuff like that. So now that that's done, he also had the rights for Dragon Ball Z. I believe that has been passed on to a different company now because of how long it took. But he has said now, I will start working on the Mortal Kombat one. Like they've been working on it this whole time, right? Because they've had all these machines working on the Street Fighter one. But it will come to Kickstarter sometime this year. I'm backing this game.
Nice.
The miniatures are stunning. So getting just to have it's like the X-Wing, Star Wars X-Wing, right? Just to
Now,
have
do they come
pre-painted?
pre-painted?
yeah, no, pre-painted, pre-assembled.
Well, game changer.
Yeah, pre-assembled.
Now I'm listening.
Yeah. Okay. Start over.
No, yeah. Seriously, look up images. Pre-assembled, pre-painted, stunning miniatures.
Yeah, okay.
Stunning.
I saw
And-
some of the Street Fighter stuff. I just assumed people
painted
got those and painted them.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
they
they
come
came
like
out-
that.
they
That's
came
what
out.
Angry Joe wanted to do. He was like, I want people to get the
So
highest
why is
quality
he?
miniatures.
Well, that's
they
why
can
he's so
get.
angry. He's got to
Yeah.
paint all those
It's a
dang
lot of
miniatures.
yeah. But yeah, so just to have a Sub-Zero and a Scorpion insanely high quality,
yeah.
and then
That's
also, they're sitting on the shelf, and then it's like, oh, would you like to fight? We can fight. Like
let's
everyone
do
has their
this.
asymmetric deck with their
Yeah.
moves
HeroClix,
Yeah.
remember
and stuff.
those?
I'm stoked to see when
Super
this comes to
cool. Yeah,
Kickstarter
yeah.
and probably
Nice.
GameFound. We'll see what he can do. He'll try to get it everywhere
Oh
he can.
yeah. Why wouldn't you?
But yeah,
Why
so I'm
wouldn't
just
you?
so excited about that news. And then also, remember the airplane game we talked about last week? I said I was going to talk about it this week, so here it is.
Okay.
It looked cool.
for it.
I don't have the
Oh.
information because
All
we
right.
talked about it last week.
Yeah.
But I said last week I was going to talk about it
Yeah,
this week.
yeah, yeah.
So
And connecting flights.
connecting flights.
Yeah.
Looks
Flights,
cool.
It does. Yeah.
Still does.
I got it all right here.
Still looks
Still
cool.
looks cool.
Oh, you have it still.
no,
yeah.
we don't need
It
to
was
go.
cool last week.
Yeah. Last week
Last
we
week.
talked about a cool looking airline game.
Yeah.
Looks smartphone-ish.
So May
Yeah.
13th.
You got some time.
I
You wanna talk about that one, Tim?
Yeah, I'll talk about this
Okay.
one real quick.
All right.
So Shadow Planet on Kickstarter is based on a graphic novel that I've not read, but I was aware of. It was very popular. But it's basically a sci-fi board game, paranoia, and like horror, science fiction. Like all these boxes are checked for me, right? It's a deck builder.
Yep.
And there's hidden roles.
Yep.
So you're
Oh.
trying to get off the planet. Somebody's a guardian trying to keep everybody on the planet. And there's also like an imposter, which is trying to get off the planet but pass as a human so they can escape the
Hidden
planet.
rolls, yeah.
So, like all of these things, it's the guy who also he designed Letters from Whitechapel and
Oh, okay.
Kingsport
Oh,
Festival.
Okay, yeah.
Things like that. So
Good.
he's got some solid games under his
Yeah.
belt.
Those are good.
This is not quite funded yet. 9 days as of filming, so probably like 6 or 7 days
Yeah.
when this comes out. Maybe 5 or 6. But the price point on it, it's like $49 for the core game. It is $67 for the game and the graphic novel.
Oh, cool.
And then there's a retailer pledge where you get like 6 copies.
Yeah, this looks really good.
Mhm.
I thought about talking about that this week. How much
Yeah.
time does that have left?
It's
Not
got
much.
9 days
Okay,
as of
so
today, so less
I'm
than a
glad you
week.
remembered to
With,
talk
Yeah.
about it. Then.
less than a week when this drops. I thought I saw this one last time and kind of was like, "Oh, wait."
Yep.
And now I'm like, "Oh no, we're running out of time." And wanted to talk about it because I thought it looked really cool. And again, like I mean, not everybody loves Hidden Trader. Not
Right.
really Hidden Trader. This one is like everybody's got their own win condition.
Right.
You're trying to meet and you mix it with deck building, and you've got this really fun, like retro sci-fi kind of horror theme, like in there. Like it just checks all the boxes for me.
Yeah.
Sounds
So
fun.
pretty excited.
I wanted to give a quick mention. We play a lot of board games.
What?
People,
Well, we try to.
Yeah, no, we try to. People ask, what kind of table do you guys play games on?
Oh, sure.
We have played on Game Topper tables, and they're awesome. Like they're a little pricey. Like I thought about picking one up for myself, but Tim's sisters got them, and they're great. Like if you're
Yes.
looking for a table, if all you have is like the little ones that you flip up, the little car.
Yeah, like the
little
white
cars.
fold-out ones.
Yeah,
and stuff.
you put one of these game toppers on top of that, and it looks like you have this awesome, amazing
Yes.
game top. They have mats that go inside.
Yeah,
there,
and the
things
way
to
it,
hold
the way it all
cups,
latches together and
the way
stuff,
it
it's not going to
screws
be
together.
like
Yeah,
wobbly.
it's a very nice. It's a little. They can be a little pricey to get like all the bells and whistles on there, but man, if you want a gaming top solution, like that's.
Get the Moriarty.
Yeah, it's
just,
the way to go, man. And they have all
Oh.
sizes, like small square ones. You can get
They're
the
really
long
nice.
ones, and then plus you can get them that hang over the edge, right?
Yep.
And it's still stable, and you have a wider playing surface than what you normally have for your table. It's just
and they're usually
they're
recessed.
really nice.
yeah,
you know,
with the
Yeah,
felt
the
or
recess.
whatever.
Yeah, and then you can get
You can get the mats to put in there.
the mask to go in there, and then you can also get the things that you put over the top of it that make it cat proof, basically.
Yes.
So you can leave the game set up, and then you put this thing and then it makes the whole top like one
and
layer,
it's
right?
deep enough that you could have even
Yeah,
miniatures
stuff standing up, and,
set
and then the cat can walk across there, and then look, cat's gone. Okay, pull that off, and we can play.
Yeah.
Is there a specific one you're talking about right now?
no,
There's
all-
there's
Okay,
a
you just
whole
wanted to
bunch
talk
of them.
about
yeah,
There's a big-
because they're tough to get sometimes. They don't really have like a store you
Right.
can go in and buy them. Usually the Kickstarter.
You
is
can
the
get
best
online.
way.
You can get online,
Get a
and,
good deal.
and you might wait for the back order. Kickstarter, like Bob is saying, is a really good time to go in
Yep.
and get them.
Yep. I think you can get it a little bit cheaper too. when you
Yeah,
get it on
I feel
Kickstarter.
like that's true.
Yeah, yeah.
And but yeah, I mean they're awesome. They're
Yep.
good people.
Yeah,
I've talked
the
to
guy's
Berkey over
nice.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we've played games with Kelly before he works for
Yep.
Game Toppers. He taught us Keyforge,
Yeah.
which I love. Bob hated,
Yeah.
but
It's okay.
I was good at it. Bob wasn't. I think
Whatever.
that's why.
Well,
I
that
loved
must
it
be
so
why,
much.
because Keyforge is a cool game,
It's okay.
especially for
Well,
someone who likes
it's
Magic.
also, it's
Play
like
that
I mean,
game for
I mean,
so long.
I like Magic better.
I,
It's supposed to be like Magic's
I
like
guess.
replacement.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
so
definitely
you don't
not
have
that.
to. You don't have to spend money to be the best player.
Sure.
Right.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to do that now anyway.
Magic?
Well, that's the cool thing about EDH because you use a bunch of like random old stuff. We're not going to go into it here. We're going to spare Dan. And I forgot to
be
mention
okay.
this part in news a little bit.
Go for it.
Our last episode, we were talking about some of our pet peeves and whatnot. And
Uh-oh.
I got an email earlier this week. The Rum and Bones,
Yeah.
all the Kickstarter exclusive
Oh
stuff,
no.
and the Xeno Shift. exclusive
Uh-huh.
stuff
Oh,
is now
no.
available for sale
On a
from
certain
from a
retailer?
certain popular online retailing
Oh no.
service.
It's
So
poopy.
that's why somebody was asking me online, like, oh, I'm not sure if I should buy all these, extras, this and that. And I was like, just wait, they'll probably be available for sale. Like, oh, it's exclusive. I'm like, that's not what doesn't mean what it used to mean.
Right.
I saw you respond to that comment, and I just laughed because
Yep.
I'm like, yep.
Yep.
When
So-
I did that with Scythe, it
It's
took
garbage.
me ages to find the Kickstarter stuff because I missed the Kickstarter.
Sure.
Mhm.
And oh my gosh, it was so hard to find them.
Yeah.
Now it's just, oh yeah, you just wait.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can get a lot of stuff now on Stonemeyer's website, which I'm fine with because they're not gouging you.
Mhm.
And honestly, the online retailer,
And
the,
I just didn't
the
think-
bummer about going to where you can get those exclusives now is it's probably cheaper than if you would have backed the Kickstarter
Yeah.
to get it.
And I don't think
on
the
that
site
site.
stuff was marketed as Kickstarter
No,
exclusive.
no.
You could get it, but it was not marketed as exclusive.
I agree
And
with you
that's-
there.
And
Also.
there's nothing wrong with
So the upgraded bits are always available, and honestly,
Correct.
a lot of the upgraded bits for Stonemeyer games can overlap into other
yeah,
games.
it's like, oh, I have a log of wood. If there was another game that used
Yeah.
wood,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can't think of any.
Yeah.
Waiting
Yeah.
for that to be a popular resource.
Well, they had actually Stonemeyer early on had those special components. Like,
Yeah, that's how I got
like chests.
Yeah, you can
and
get like a
thing-
big box full of just random components,
and
then
you could just use
yeah,
for whatever
fantastic.
Yeah,
game,
little-
which is brilliant.
for all my Arkham horrors, they have like little brains
Yeah.
and little
Oh,
like
that's
hearts
awesome.
for like blood and yeah.
Mhm.
So
The brain is
stuff.
perfect.
It's good stuff.
Mhm.
Are
I
we?
had one.
but yeah, I
more.
saw that and I was like,
One more.
One more.
go for it.
Called Growing Season. It just
Ooh.
came out. It's a little 2-player family card game. And I wanted to mention this one because it's the guy's first. It's already funded, and it
Oh,
looks
right on.
actually
Good for
really
him.
good. It's like you're trying to make a farm. It's a card game. You plant seeds on the land that you get. You sell the stuff that you get so you can buy more seeds that are better. You can upgrade your tools. You can go out and mine, which gives you a chance of getting money. Money is the only resource.
Mm.
You can buy more land. You can upgrade your farm. You can get automated tools, all sorts. It's like every aspect of farming into one little game that's meant for kids to play. And there also aren't any words on any of the cards, so there's no language barrier. So
Nice.
yeah, and it's also pretty cheap. It's $33.
Not bad.
There's no
and it's
extra
already
bells
funded.
and whistles.
That's great.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
Safe.
funded.
It's safe.
It's safe. It's a deck builder
Oh.
and a resource management.
It's
Yeah,
probably too much luck for Dan, but that's okay.
Well,
It ships in
not if it's a
November.
good deck builder.
Well, I don't know, but hopefully.
don't mind us sharpening daggers and
Yeah.
sticking them in each
We got
other.
that
That's
back
fine.
full of, or that knife full of backs.
Knife.
You
Oh,
never live
boy.
that one down. It also only plays in about half an hour.
Even better.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
That's great.
I just thought that I wanted to mention that. The other thing I wanted to mention is that it's a 2-player game, but as of right now, the 4-player version is ready to be unlocked.
Oh,
so
okay.
Da.
we have till
So
May
a stretch goal.
23rd. There's a really good chance the 4-player
May 23rd?
version. May 23rd.
That's my birthday. Right on.
Ooh.
We don't care.
So there's a really good chance it'll get unlocked for 4 players. So there we go.
Perfect. Great.
Cool.
Good one.
So we have a topic
We do.
to talk about today,
Oh,
and that topic is a topic. I think we could
Topic.
all agree.
Yeah, it's a topic.
Definitely a topic.
Of things.
Involving our
Games.
opinions. I was going to say
involves
topics. I really
games.
was. So anyway, we're going to talk about Euro games, what they are, and
Expensive.
what
What are you doing?
delineate. I know what delineate, but it's mine. I can break it. What delineates them from other things? Where we might stray from the definition and say, yeah, but I think this is, or I don't think that is right. But we're going
Right.
to start because Bob actually has the definition, evidently.
Yeah,
of
I looked it
Euro
up.
game.
And so they have it classified here. A Euro game, also called a German-style board game, is a class of tabletop games that generally has indirect player interaction and abstract physical components. They contrast with American-style games that normally involve more luck and conflict, and they generally require more thought and planning.
Right.
Boring. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So to sum it up, Tan tracks.
Yes.
Jason likes them. They're bad. I think is the
Nobles.
4.
Yep.
Oh, nobles. Right.
yeah,
Yep.
you've got it covered. Yeah, so I guess in my head, Euro game is minimal player interaction,
Right.
and usually worker placement.
Yep.
there's a
Probably
lot of
no
m-
die rolling.
Yeah, there's a lot of player
or not much
blocking.
of it.
Taking the role that someone else wants or the resource
Sometimes.
that someone wants.
Sometimes.
He's just saying because worker placement. That's what it's
Sure.
all
Like
about.
Like
Okay.
everybody's starting out at the same starting point.
There's
know.
there's always exceptions, but most of them have it's indirect, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Trying to
Right.
think of the most Euro.
Theme is usually not important.
One of the
Euro
most
game.
Euro games.
At
I
all.
think like
Theme
Orleans.
is
I think of
usually-
Orleans
yeah,
when
yeah.
I think of a Euro.
Yeah, but there's
a
some
game.
luck with the bag building, right?
A little.
Orleans
bit.
is almost too fun
El
to be
Grande.
a Euro.
El Grande.
El
Agricola.
Grande is a Euro.
Agricola.
Agricola is a Euro.
That's a really Euro.
That is a punishing.
Hansa Teutonica.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Yeah.
never played it, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Euros, I've just always said they're
Cylinders, cubes.
usually
Well, I mean,
they're
Settlers of
usually
Catan
some kind of
kinda
resource
fits that.
management. They tend to be more
selection,
like
maybe?
tactical. I was gonna say.
Yeah, yeah. It's the planning and thought.
and right, and they tend to be
Solo games.
No interaction
they
whatsoever.
tend to be
Solitaire.
like themeless. Like the theme does not matter. Strip the theme away. Who cares? It's a mechanical game, right?
Which is why
Euros are
Jason likes them.
mechanics.
Because Jason doesn't care about theme. He's just like, just give me a cube. I'll push it around. Just tell me what it is.
Exactly.
No matter what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't wait till he watches this.
I know.
Hi, Jason.
And you get
Hi.
those interesting mixtures, right? To where like Dune Imperium plays like it has a lot of Euro-y elements to it, but at the same time, the theme is really important and really there. And then also it throws in
It's
the
a deck
deck
builder.
building.
Yeah,
Right.
I was going to say. when
Well,
you
things
add
can be more than
things-
one thing, though. Like,
Absolutely. Well, like I kind of consider Lords of Waterdeep a Euro.
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
again, I think that most worker placement games just kind of accidentally
If it's
fall
just
into
a
that.
worker placement
Sure,
game,
Yeah.
correct.
sure.
Yeah.
But
And
uh,
Settlers of Catan seems to fit that definition.
except there's randomness
Well,
with
you
the
got
dice.
the die rolling.
There's a little bit.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
at
know.
the
That's a
same
lot.
time-
That's a heavy.
But at the same time, that randomness isn't just for me; it's for everyone. I roll it; everyone gets to.
Which I
the
feel like
thing.
makes it more random.
And you can, and you can mitigate that by being really good at where you place your people.
Sure.
And I mean, yeah, there's randomness.
It's definitely closer to
but
Euro
it's
than it
close.
is Amerithrash.
It's like
Sure.
it's like a great way to introduce people
Was
to
it
more Euro games.
Raja is on the Ganges.
oh yeah,
That's
sure.
a Euro, right?
That's
Yeah.
Euro.
That's
Terra
right.
Mystica.
Okay, haven't played.
So now we're
Own
just
it, haven't
listing
played.
games.
But so
That's
Gaia
not the-
Project, right?
Yeah.
It's not the most fun thing to listen to. It's just us literally listing
List
games.
but it's an important distinction because they used to call the American style games Ameritrash,
Ameritrash.
which they've now kind of gotten away from, and they now just
There's really
sort
good
of
ones.
American
they
style.
just sort of. Well, I don't even hear American style.
I heard
anymore.
it
now
changed
it's just
to Amerithrash, right?
Oh,
That's what
Amerithrash.
I always. That's
sure.
what I
Well,
heard
now
it
it's
changed
just
to.
like they just name the mechanics. And
Oh,
like, that's what
right.
it is,
Yeah.
right? This is a deck builder. This is an engine builder. This is a strategy.
Because Americans doesn't have
Territory
just one.
control.
Because we're the melting pot, so we got all that
Yeah.
mixed in there.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just jumble everything and then add some dice for no reason.
That's
and
right.
roll.
For no reason whatsoever.
And that
Uh,
being said, a lot of the games that are considered Ameritrash don't come from America.
yeah, it's,
yeah.
it's
Well, we
fine.
don't produce any of them here, so there's that.
It's fine.
Man,
No, I mean, I guess for me, a lot of it is like balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like a fair amount of dry Euro games, and I do love my like dice chucking.
Yep.
Yeah. Cthulhu Wars, King of Tokyo. And at the same time, I like my deck builders.
Yep.
And I
I love
kind of
asymmetrical player powers. I
Right.
love them. So
right. So Euros tend to be a little more dry.
Right. I need theme to matter most of the time, even if it's not even like that it matters, but that it's pretending
Is
that
Puerto
it matters.
Rico a Euro? And that's an action selection.
Which one?
Puerto
I
Rico?
would think
Yes,
so.
actually, I was just thinking.
I
that
don't
Puerto
see why
Rico
not.
is
Yeah, I don't
definitely
see why
I don't
not.
see why not.
Definitely.
I
What
would
about
say
like
that's definitely Euro.
Concordia?
haven't played it.
Yes.
You have not
I
played
think Concordia would be a Euro.
I know.
You're moving around. You're not directly interacting. It's more indirect.
I mean, there's a little bit of
resources.
blocking, but
But
that's just
going
worker
to be
placement.
natural.
But yeah,
the
that's a worker
indirect part.
placement,
Yeah,
right?
That's not
yeah.
really interaction.
right.
Yeah. You know,
But-
So viticulture is kind of a Euro.
It is absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, that's one of those though that's the kind of Euro I tend to really like, is because sure it has all these Euro mechanics but the theme is totally there.
Sure.
Like you
They can
really feel the
sometimes
theme.
nail the
Could
theme.
you strip the theme away from viticulture? I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Why?
But it helps so much bring out that
like
experience.
why you're doing that.
And often,
Yeah.
when you have a game like that, and you look at another game, you're like, there's really not much difference between these except for a few little fiddly bits. But when they layer the theme on it, you're like, oh,
Now it's
I
way
totally get
Now,
why they're
now
different.
I understand why
Yeah.
when I move this happens. Over
Exactly.
here. Sure. I mean, I almost think now with the way that games have evolved, sort of like Amerithrash, like Euros are kind of they're not gone, but they're gone because there's other There's just
They've-
so
they're
many
getting- they're
other
getting
things
melded.
mixed into
There's
them.
so many other mechanics
There's no
now.
pure
Yeah,
Right.
I'm sure
anymore.
somebody's
There
gonna
are still
come out with
there.
like a pure.
There are still
Sure,
there.
there is.
Grande.
There's this one. Yeah.
Exactly.
But, I mean, I'm looking at the games in the back.
These
and
are all the games that there are. So if
These
there's
are
one,
all the
it's gonna
games
be
that ever
here.
existed.
Right. It's
Yep.
just becoming this thing now where you don't say that so much anymore. Same thing with like worker placement games, right? Like it's becoming harder and harder to say that something's a worker placement game because you have to nowadays say like, well, it's a worker placement game,
With
but
deck
like you
building.
also do
Well,
this.
Yeah.
Well, like for
And,
instance,
like, you
would
know-
you call Scythe a worker placement game? You
No.
have a little
action
worker who
selection.
moves between. It's action,
Action
selection.
It's not
because you're not
worker-
blocking.
yeah.
Any,
But you
you're not
do-
blocking anybody.
But you are blocking people because you have little workers out on the field, and
That
you can only
doesn't
have
block-
one worker per area.
that what?
You can't have my worker and your worker in the same.
Yeah.
Well, no,
field.
but I can push you out of the way.
Right. Your mechs could
Worker
push you out
placement.
of the
That's
way.
not blocking me though, because I can still go there.
It's territory control.
Territory control.
I hate this conversation. When people take things too literally, it
Yeah.
genuinely upsets me. It's not worker placement because there's a piece in the game called a worker and you place it somewhere. That's not what worker placement means. Like that's too literal. It's whenever someone makes the argument that this isn't a tower defense game because we're in a space station. Are you an idiot? Like I hate that
But
conversation.
my space station has a tower in it.
Right. I just hate that conversation so much. Like, oh, so now we're
Spire
saying there has to be a
defense.
new subgenre called space station defense games.
Right.
Yeah.
You are
Right.
making things way too complicated. It is a tower defense game in a space station.
sure.
I hate this
I'm,
conversation.
I'm just thinking
Okay,
the difference
I
between
hate
action
it.
selection
So
and
what
worker
would
Action
you-
placement.
selection and worker
What would you
placement,
call
yes.
like a modern Euro then?
oh
like-
boy.
Like it just
like a
came
new one?
out?
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I genuinely don't know because nowadays they become
'Cause-
their subgenres. You know,
Right.
they just become
They,
worker
they
placements.
do,
and
but
stuff.
right, but so like Dune Imperium, really kind of at its heart
Deck
is
builder.
really, yeah, but it's almost more worker placement.
It's a worker
It's
placement.
very-
deck builder.
Exactly, which is why it's almost like the
It
term
takes two now.
the term Euro and those
takes
those
two
those
That's
those
why-
umbrella terms are like becoming kaput.
That's why I was saying
Like-
that Euros are not dead, but the,
Right, no,
the,
I
the
agree.
classification is dead.
Yeah, no,
think,
I
is-
agree.
Is
And
going away.
I knew what you meant.
I've seen
It's
some
going
that
I
call
know, trust
themselves Euro. No, I have seen some recently on Kickstarter that call themselves Euro.
Sure.
Sure.
Now, whether or not that makes them Euro, who knows? But for instance, Stroganoff, we talked about a little
Yep.
bit.
Yeah,
That's borderline Euro. I mean, that's
yeah.
got the
Peter
aspect.
Stroganoff
It's one
and
of
Jonathan
those.
Beef.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
one of those. We have the Euro stuff, but I mean, let's face it. Sometimes that can get boring. We add all this other stuff to it
Yeah.
to really bring it to life.
That Venice game that we unboxed
oh yeah.
appears to be a Euro with some pickup and delivery mechanics.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which is
Venice.
a Euro.
Yeah.
Right. Well, when you say so, we're gonna be playing this game. The theme is you're gonna be like picking stuff up
And delivery.
and then traveling and then dropping it off.
yes.
And they go, "What? That sounds really dry." And you're like, "Exactly." Euro. Right.
So
It's like a
can
white
Euros?
wine.
Can Euros?
Dry.
Are Euros always competitive? Are there ever any co-op Euros?
Interesting.
That's an interesting question.
I wish I had done research on that before this because that was actually
Should we
really
pause the video for
interesting.
a few minutes and then come back?
Okay, guys, what do you think? We'll cut back when the conversation ends.
Why did you pick such an awkward pose?
This is not comfortable at all. That's a really interesting point. A cooperative Euro.
Is
I
it
mean,
possible?
I think that the
I don't see why it's not possible. It needs to be it has to have a theme that is a little dry, a little real
Well,
life,
they-
a little real lifey. And it needs to be
no,
like
no, no,
resource
no.
management.
No. You're already flawed because the Euro, the theme doesn't matter.
Right. Right. But that's what I'm saying is they almost always pick like, merchants of Venice.
Yes, it's
And
always like trading in the Mediterranean.
that's the one I was trying to think of.
or-
Trading in the
or-
Mediterranean.
Some of the ones listed here that I just Googled it real quick. They listed Pandemic. There's asymmetric abilities in that.
Suppose.
Sure.
Same as Spirit Island. There's asymmetric abilities
Yeah.
in that, but other than that, it's basically just
a Euro
Euro
co-op.
type co-op.
Sure.
Yeah.
Flashpoint.
Flashpoint.
Again, the thing that stops me in my brain, which I know is just me, is those games are very thematic.
There's a lot of
Right.
randomness.
Yeah.
There's
So-
a
I'm
lot
saying it
more
doesn't have to be
randomness in
anti-theme.
Pandemic.
Euro game doesn't mean anti-theme.
It
I mean,
doesn't.
if you didn't like the
To me, it
randomness
does.
in Catan,
I don't like the randomness in what?
if you didn't like the randomness of Catan,
Oh,
you can't mitigate the randomness in
Of pandemic. Sure.
right.
That's got a
With
lot
the
more
card
random.
drawing?
With the
Well,
card,
the card
and
drawing,
you
the
know-
bad
yeah,
cards
yeah.
are also, yeah.
Sure. I
So-
don't know.
As far as a
Too many
pure-
colors, too,
Yeah.
in pandemic.
Yeah.
Way too many colors. You have like brown, light brown, and tan.
Right. Which is somewhere between the two.
Yeah, and then maybe like a gray and an off-white. There you go. There's all your color palette.
Mauve. So obviously, I know that it's a little confusing when we include our jokes in with the actual definitions.
And purists will hate this because they're.
Oh yeah.
So I guess here's my negative.
Someone's gonna gatekeep it.
Here's my negative stereotype about Euros.
Okay.
Right.
Is that sometimes the hardcore Euro gamers seem to be some of the most gatekeepery of the gatekeepers, right? They like their pure Euro style game. They don't want anything else.
They don't
to
like
corrupt
anything
it.
random.
They don't want anything random.
Go
Dan.
play chess.
They don't like anything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They don't want anything random, and they don't want any player interaction.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
Oh, well, I guess.
oh
that's
man.
not chess.
After the Empire, there's almost no player interaction.
Mm.
Right.
Would that be considered a Euro?
I was
Maybe.
thinking about that. I don't know.
Too much theme.
Too much
There is a
theme.
lot.
Too much theme, and the components are too good.
No,
so
it
doesn't
clearly
count.
does lean towards
They're not
Euro,
abstract at all.
It clearly does lean towards Euro though, because the limited player interaction and I tend to fall back on resource management because even that's why worker placement games tend to be Euro. I think it's because it's resource management most of the time, right? They love their resources.
And if you don't have the deluxe conversion, then you have abstract components because your cubes are dudes.
look at that, literally
There you go.
definition
Yeah.
abstract
I mean,
components.
El Grande is a great Euro game. Like that is a Euro game that I really enjoyed playing. Would happily play again.
Right.
I've got that. I don't think I've played it though.
The
I picked up a used copy on a trade table.
oh, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Mhm.
So I mean, there's definitely great Euros out there.
Oh yeah,
Of
and
course.
I do love it that like it says, you're not reliant so much on the luck. It's what you can plan. It's
Sure.
what you can do with it, and so
Right.
everybody's on the same page. Like my strategy is gonna be better than your strategy.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And a good Euro should have multiple paths to
To
victory.
And
And
you should be
I just
able-
love that in general.
And you should be able to adapt your plan when you notice
That's on the player,
it's
but yes.
not working.
Yeah.
Well,
I
no,
gotta
some
fix
games.
this.
This plan is
Some
garbage.
games will.
The other
some
person took
games-
my plan.
Some games will just destroy you for having a bad turn.
Those are my
Agricola.
least
Some.
favorite games.
Yeah.
Amen,
Where
brother.
Dan plans like, all right, I've taken 4 turns all leading to this. Oh, I can't go there now.
Yeah. Oh, guess I'm not gonna play for the rest of the game. That's
I'm
always
out.
fun.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, purists are gonna hate this episode. That's fine.
It's fine.
Light us up in the comments.
Yeah.
Tell us why we're wrong because I want to hear it.
Yeah. What
Right.
What do you call a Euro thing, like definition wise, that we haven't mentioned yet?
Sure.
We've mentioned a lot.
We've been all over the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you say? Don't forget to include this.
Yeah, that makes it a Euro or something that will disqualify. it from
Disqualify
doing it.
instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you
Like the
think
color
there are
blue.
any other co-op
Oof, yeah.
Euros that should be mentioned?
Yeah, the
Any
co-op
game
Euro.
or co-op. Yeah.
Co-op Euro, because I think Pandemic has got too much randomness to
Yeah.
be considered.
Yeah. Well,
I think
It's
they lumped it in
interesting.
because it has
It's
cubes.
close.
it's got
Yeah,
cubes in
it's
it.
got
This cube
cubes.
is
All
not actually a
cubes.
cube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a deadly disease.
That's right.
And this little very
Anything
basic
with, anything with
player
cubes,
pawn.
cubes, discs, and cylinders.
Yeah.
Cubitis.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
Cubitis.
Cubitis.
Yeah. Deadly disease.
Cubidos.
Wow.
Cubidos.
Wow.
All right. Well, I mean, that's all I got.
Yeah,
That's-
we didn't
that's
have
Euros.
too much to talk about with this because there's a set definition, and so we just kind of slightly stray with like but this is more important part of the definition than this part, right?
Okay, well, let's just go around and say, like, what are some of your favorite Euros before we call it?
Whew.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God.
Sure.
Shouldn't have been that hard of a
It
question.
really is for me.
No, I'll just name 2 right off the
Caverna.
bat. Okay, Caverna. Great.
Caverna, I like a lot.
I prefer Caverna to Agricola 100 times
Yep.
over. I enjoy Lords of Waterdeep, which I will call a better than Champions of Midgard.
but you can't mention Champions of Midgard,
know.
unfortunately.
It's not a
It's
Euro.
not a Euro.
Too much dice. And El Grande, which I just played the one time recently
Sure.
at my sister's, and I really like that game. Like some games, like 3 turns in, and you're like, oh yeah, like this is clicking, this is good.
I mean, I guess I'll bring up. You just brought up a classic. I'm going to bring up a classic too because he mentioned it earlier. Actually, I think you mentioned
Puerto
it.
Rico?
Yeah, but Puerto Rico.
gonna
Puerto
mention
Rico, yeah.
Puerto
as
Rico's
well.
phenomenal.
Sure.
Puerto Rico is a great Euro. One that's a little not as popular, but it's one I love. Is called Goldbrow.
Okay.
Or Goldbrow.
Oh yeah, you talked about this with
talked
the
about
AU.
earlier.
It's definitely
With the
brow.
AU.
It's definitely
Yeah.
brow.
It's the
It's like
the beer
Fraulein.
festival.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a Euro.
You had me
You're
at beer, and then I stayed for the
You
festival.
gotta have it. You gotta play the game when you've got a beer.
Well, yeah.
Preferably an
Puerto
Oktoberfest, a
Rico.
Marzen, a nice Marzen. Oh,
There you go. All right.
this has been beer right now.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, if it's gonna give me Spirit Island as a,
Ah.
I gotta say Spirit Island. 'Cause that's
That's
one of my
so
favorite
funny.
video
Listen,
games.
Google is not always right.
That's funny.
But no, I do enjoy Hansa Teutonica.
Yeah.
That's a really great dry game. That's yeah. You think it was on Arrakis? Yeah, it's not though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Dune Super Tan game not Euro.
Not
Right.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So much player interaction. Neither version of Dune.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but yeah, all right. Well, cool. So Euros, I mean, super popular, very important. It is a very important and fundamental game design and style
Yeah,
Right.
it
to
kinda,
the hobby.
It started a lot of it. Like it was,
I was going to say
OG.
fundamental stepping stone,
Yep.
maybe. I think it has become a bit. I can't think of the word right now, but like it is useless in modern society. That term, no, I can't think.
Well,
of
it's
it.
outdated. It
Yeah.
is
No, there's a word for it. I don't
Yeah,
know
see,
what.
you know what I'm trying to say too.
obsolete.
Sure.
No, there's another word.
It's
Okay.
not the word I was thinking of, but sure. Yeah, it's on the way of the dodo, right?
Yeah. But anyways, so yeah.
Antiquated.
Yes, that's the word I was trying to think
I
of.
know.
Thanks, man. It is a bit
Thank you.
antiquated.
I knew it was there, but yeah.
Who knows? Maybe there'll be a resurgence.
Usually
Usually
things
there
go
is.
in cycles, right?
Yeah.
So they'll come
Yeah.
back.
It'll
But I like all things. I like a balance. Like I like a little bit of
Exactly.
Euro
A little bit
stuff
of this,
here and a little bit of that.
and mix all it
And
together.
chemical X.
Oh,
would be for
that's
him
just
deck
dice
building.
rolling. Ugh.
That's
builder.
Cthulhu.
Yeah. Cthulhu is always chemical
That's
X.
right.
That's the secret.
Mhm.
He's always Cthulhu. So, anyways, thank you for watching. Be sure, again, like, subscribe. Check out that 500 giveaway.
Ring the
Check out our
ding.
friends at the Board Game Mechanics.
Yes.
They are pretty okay.
Jason and Katie, pretty okay. They got a ton of YouTube videos,
Yeah.
and we like to give them a hard time over there,
Yeah.
and they like to give us a hard time. And they got a pretty okay podcast.
And our sister channel, Miniatures Rundown
Miniatures
as well.
Rundown. They're doing a
Yeah.
giveaway, so get over there and check out their giveaway video.
Nice.
They're giving away a couple things. I try to sneak in there in the comments. Maybe. I mean, I subscribe and I commented on the appropriate video.
I mean, no, my name's Aim Tibberley.
That's right.
I'm a totally different person.
That's right.
Totally different person. Give
Totally.
me that paint set. I
Yeah.
need it. To paint.
Yeah.
I know. Right? Seriously.
Check that out.
So, for the board game rundown, I've been Tim,
I've been Bob.
I've been Dan.
I've been Spencer.
and we'll see you next time. Don't hate us for dogging Euros like that.
I wasn't dogging.
Woof.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.